Hi. Hi, and welcome to my channel. No, don't blame on me yet. But we'll work on that. My name is Frank, and we're going to look at the applications of sword training, Bokken training, and since we're in a nice public park, we're going to use a lightsaber, because lightsabers don't freak people out like a sword might. And anyway, it's better to train with a Bokken or a wooden sword than a live blade, of course, because with a live blade, you might, accidentally hit bone and chip the blade. We wouldn't want that. I mean, blades are expensive. So, training with a Bokken, a wooden blade, they have other names, is fine. It's in a very proud and long and storied tradition in the history of the Japanese sword, which is my style, Japanese style, katana style, saber, which is a long, flat, and curved blade, very elegant weapon, and very flexible, as a matter of fact. I'm going to work on some basic cuts and basic moves. Nothing special. Let's see how it goes. We'll go over the finer points as we continue, but it's good to train in all kinds of weather, because that builds your stamina, that builds your footing, balance, and your concentration as well. So you're not so distracted by environmental factors. So you should always train very cold, very hot, medium, whatever. Let's see what we got. Okay, I know what you're saying. I'll put it away. Okay, I'll put it away. Take it away. You can see, actually, it's been a long time since I've worked on the blade, and it's all coming back to me now. So what I hope to do is sort of reawaken that muscle memory. My technique looks like crap right now, I know. Very sloppy, I know. And the snow is not helping. That's why we're here. So what I'm doing is just reawakening my muscle memory. It's been 20 years since I've practiced regularly with a sword or practice sword, and I'm just sort of reawakening the old moves. So there's nothing systematic to this right now. Don't think there is. All right, wish me luck. Take a look at what the footwork is doing there. drills. Let's take a look at that from behind. No. 90 degrees. See, some schools like Aikido, like you can. Leave your back leg arched like a bow. Flexibility, movement. But some schools like Yoshinkan keep a nice, almost linear angle to the leg, which is a really good source of power. But it's very different. And so it's important to know the difference. Train both ways. Choose your favorite. But I think it's important to expose yourself to both types as much as possible without sacrificing the quality of the training. It's not. Oh. It's not. No. You have to be on balance all the time. The attack is coming from there. You're balanced. The attack is coming from there. You can regain your balance. You're not overextending. Your hips are aligned with your spine. You're not twisting. So, always in balance. 90 degrees. And if you want, you can extend it down to draw in the attacker because your blade is down. But you're not being obvious about the thing. Then you're still ready. That opens you up for attack. So you'll notice the whole body should be coordinated. Better than mine, but should be coordinated together. Rotation of the hips, placement of the arms, in line with your center axis point. Right here. 90 degrees. Not half-assing it, not being lazy, not losing focus or attention. When you have a live blade, if you're not paying attention, you'll know. Never retract the sword unless you're focused 100%. The other side. Really build a base into the earth. Shotokan Karate does that too. Right into the earth. Really strong strike. Me, I like agility and flexibility. My opinion. I know my limitations. And part of my limitations are that I'm easy to fall down. And if I'm too strongly rooted, I may fall to the side. especially in this kind of environment, you really want to be agile and nimble as possible and ready to recover your balance. I'm not teetering if I can help it. Speaking of flow art, a lot of martial artists like to say, that's bullshit, that's bullshit. Any training is not bullshit. Training your body for power, strength, for speed, for range of motion, for balance, for hand-eye coordination, none of it is bullshit. None of it is bullshit. Anyone tells you that, they're bullshit. Listen to Master Ken. He knows bullshit when he sees it. He knows it's all bullshit. So, flow arts. I'm not good at it. Real swordsmen just carry around their practice sword with them. Carry it around the house. I read a great book called Autumn Lightning. Advice from a real swordsman, Japanese swordsman, and in the traditions. I'll get more into traditions as we go. But he was saying, and I've heard it from other senseis and shihan and grandmasters, whatever you call them. Let your sword be an extension of you. How does your sword become an extension of you? You are familiar with it. You carry it around the house. You know where the tip is located. You know what the range is. Oh, you didn't see that. But, standing near this tree, and you know, it seems like it's far away, and so another swordsman that far away isn't going to be a threat. But, boom. Maybe you can't see it. But yeah. Boom. You can close the distance rather quickly. You know what I mean? I'll show you on this tree up here. Okay? I'm not a threat to this person, right? Just a couple of steps. Little hops, and you are. It's not long to take close the distance. So, my point is, casual use is also training. And we don't train to hurt ourselves or other people. We train to prepare to hurt other people, hopefully not ourselves. And, in my opinion, Katsu Shinjen, not Satsu Shinjen. Which is, Katsu Shinjen is sword that defends. And the other one is the sword that attacks. You'll have to make up your own mind as to which one is appropriate in which situation. My advice is don't be a stranger to either, but have a default position for surprises. So your body has a habituated response, which is more defensive than offensive, in my opinion, because that's tactically the stronger position to be in. in terms of Aikido and Aikiken and the sword work related to that. Call it Kenjutsu, Iaido, or whatever. I'll get into all that stuff as we continue. But for right now, I'm just reawakening the dragons. Or, case may be. Simple. I'm going to break down each of these strikes as we go later. Not right now. All right? I carry my sword around. I have a pretty good idea of its form, but I have a lot of room for improvement. Never done it. Maybe you can see it, but the footwork's rather tricky here. We have snow, mud, wet leaves, roots, and limbs. Some loose, some not. Drills and cuts. Break it down like that, ideally. Now, I'm just going to freestyle a little bit, nothing fancy, slowly. There will be time for fighting at speed. Form before function. Think of it as playing a musical instrument, learning the scales of the piano, before you can play, musical composition. Your fingers have to know where to go. Otherwise, it's can also be applied in other arts as well. Whether you're into bow or knife fighting or using other various implements and weapons, your sai, your halberds, whatever, it's always form before speed. Freestyle. with an inch of it. How do you do? All right. Let me have a quick rest. Okay. I just need a couple minutes to blow my nose. Catch my breath. All right. There's a lot to talk about here. I'm in a wooded park right now, a little woodland, and it's getting evening, so I have to have some awareness of where I am. Always awareness of where you are. Movement through the trees, sounds, environmental conditions. Is the snow increasing or decreasing? For me, it's actually decreased a little bit. It's going to affect your footing, paying attention to the tracks in the snow, paying attention to where will you be when it's time to leave. Are you in the middle of the woods when it's dark? Or, you're thinking ahead, because, of course, your greatest weapon is your mind. Training the mind, training the sword, it's no different. It's the same. It's all the same thing. And it's the same with other arts and vocations and avocations as well. It all takes work. It all takes mistakes, suffering, blood, sweat, and tears, toil. Learning from your mistakes. And the rewards come. Now, people have different priorities for different rewards at different stages in their lives. So training never really ends, and neither does the fight. And the forms change. The fighter learns from it all. I'd rather lose my dignity than my head. Same patch. Learning. Root. We're not doing a lot of wood. Not today. Not for today's poem. Today's poem is control. Balance. Alive. Slow. Fast. Purposeful. Concentrated. See what I did there? Uh-oh. I'm dead. I'm dead. Feel with your feet. See with your toes. Walk with your eyes. I have no idea what that shit means. But if you can find meaning in it. Awareness. put a little intent in your mind. Slow intention. Slow intention. Not paying attention. Intention. Where am I going? Right there. I don't have to be focused on an engagement, mental engagement with their eyes. In fact, you can blur out your eyes if you want. If it helps. Stare at a spot on their forehead if it helps. Or just generally get the impression of where the body is, what's going on. General impressions are very useful. But always with the cut. Always with the cut in mind. The end cut. The end cut is not a kendo touch. Whack, whack. You can hurt somebody with that. Musashi killed Sasaki with a proper thwack with a wooden oar to the noggin. But if you're using a bladed edge, always know where the blade is. On my cylindrical practice weapon, I always know where the blade is because in the web I put the power switch. I don't make a habit of grabbing it around. Now for flow arts you might, but for dueling with intention, it's good to know where the practice edge is and the practice flat of the blade is and the back of it, the spine. So my point is, if you're going to use a katana type saber, always include the cut. Always include the cutting stroke, not just the touch. If you're using a thrusting epi or foil, okay. Katana arts, and I dare say lightsaber arts, Jedi arts, use the cut. It's getting pretty dark, so not too much longer. Cut. Draw. Cut. Notice the cut. The tip is going straight forward like that. And it's not going out to it. I'm not cutting this way. That's cleaving. That's cutting a chicken in the kitchen. Cutting a chicken in the kitchen. All right, Asian viewers, say that 5 times fast. Cutting a chicken in the kitchen. Work on your English. Okay. You didn't study English 12 years to not be able to say cutting a chicken in the kitchen. All right. Sending good love all around the world. Brotherhood of the soul. Sisterhood. Humanhood. Being good. Whatever you call it. You're aware of the cuts. Right? Aware of the cuts. Arcing, cutting motion. Now, those of you who are much more recently trained than I am, I know you see a lot of places for improvement for me too. There's a lot I have forgotten. So bear with me. We'll get there. sometimes I'm cutting at the screen, I'm forgetting about the lens. So if it's a little off, if I'm forgetting to cut here and I'm cutting here, that's why. It's purposeful. I'm just looking at the screen. It's not bullshit. All right, couple more. Look at that. There we go. Backward, forward. Let's go there. Recover. You got to step out of alignment. Recover. As quickly as possible. Like eating spaghetti. How do you eat spaghetti politely? Slurping up the noodles. And the actual etiquette is slurp them and don't slurp them, but bite it and cut them off as quickly as possible. So you're not dangling. And that's the same. You're not dangling with shit hanging out of your mouth like Cthulhu or an Oog or something. Is that what they call it in Doctor Who? Anyway. Same with recovering your footwork. I'm out of balance. Oh, I'm out of balance. See how my legs are crossed? Recover. So now I'm back in alignment. Or, I gotta go this way. Recover. Bad way to recover. Recover. Just get it done. Remember, four directions. We're using those. And incorporating it all as we go. And I just want to say, if you think this isn't good exercise, you're mistaken. It's actually very good exercise. Cardiovascular, heart and lungs, respiration, not to mention musculoskeletal, not to mention plyometric, and strength. Yeah, you try and do 1,000 cuts and tell me strength is not involved. Okay, by the way, at the end of the 1,000, that's when training starts. So, I don't want to give you too much today to go on, because I know you're just watching the video and chilling and enjoying my suffering. But now, it's on you. What are you going to do? I'm older, I'm mid-50s, and sword training is excellent for me. I've done all my strength training in my life. I don't really want to bodybuild. I still want mobility and strength and agility and range of motion and heart health and aerobics and all of that. This is so good on the joints. This and skateboarding, they're both very good on the joints. Skateboarding has higher risk of concussion, I would say, whereas swordplay has a higher risk of lacerations and missing body parts and things like that. All of it takes courage. All of it takes not really caring what other people think. Discipline, a lot of discipline. learning from your mistakes, being willing to make a lot of mistakes in order to learn from them, and focus and determination. You may not have those qualities in abundance right now, but I promise you, they are hidden talents within you, within your heart, your spirit, and your mind. Practice to bring them out. And I know that you know that. Now, I'm going to suggest that 3 times a week you walk to the supermarket or otherwise get off your couch and go outside. 3 times a week. Bring a broomstick if you have to. What's my lightsaber? Elegant Weapons from France. Excellent, excellent lightsaber. I got it on the recommendation of Michelle. You know Michelle, the badass, and she recommended it. And boy, she knows her stuff. She teaches a lot of flow arts, which is cool and badass and all that. I'm more interested in the in practice, in actual cutting practice, and kumitachi and suburi and things like that. Sword training in the traditional styles, you know. And that's what I'm doing now. Even though I have a lightsaber, I'm in a public park. People aren't freaking out. Okay, but this is what we're doing. I don't really care if they think I'm an overgrown child. Actually, the older you get, the younger you get. All right. So with all of that, I want to thank you all very much. Let me put on the light. I think I'm losing some light here. I'll just talk like this. How about that? I want to thank you all very much for checking out this video. I want to wish you luck. I want to wish you discipline, not luck. I want to wish you discipline. I want to wish you ferocity. I want to wish you accuracy, forbearance, perseverance, tenacity, will. And say until next time, you are born free. How will you die?